In 2021, Congress moved to permanently kill a retirement strategy used by some of the wealthiest employees in America. And when the ban quietly disappeared from the final bill without debate, no official explanation was ever given. By the end of this, you'll understand who kept it alive and why they needed you to stay in the dark. Most people believe there are two ways to save for retirement: a traditional account where you pay taxes later, or a Roth account where you pay taxes now and never touch that money again in retirement. And the Roth has income limits. If you earn above a certain threshold, they close the door. For 2024, that cutoff sits at $161,000 for a single filer. Above that line, the IRS officially says you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA directly. This is the rule. This is what your financial institution will tell you. This is the story of the door they quietly left propped open. Inside the tax code, buried in a section most financial advisors have never read aloud to a client, there is a second contribution limit embedded inside a standard workplace 401(k). Everyone knows the annual employee cap, $23,000. What almost no one knows is that the total allowable contribution, employee deposits, employer match, and after-tax money combined, rises to $69,000. That gap of $46,000 is a door in the wall. And in 2014, the IRS confirmed in Notice 2014-50 for that employees could fill that gap with after-tax money and immediately roll it into a Roth account. Tax-free growth. Forever. No income ceiling. No income test. The IRS released that guidance on a Friday afternoon. No press conference. No plain language summary. Just a notice filed quietly into the Federal Register where almost no one would think to go looking. The official position has always been that this strategy is simply obscure, not suppressed. Financial advisors don't discuss it because most workplace plans don't enable after-tax contributions in the first place. Fewer than 20% of 401(k) plans in the country have the feature turned on. The money is theoretically available, they say. The access just isn't there for most workers. And that sounds entirely reasonable until you examine which companies chose to build the feature in and which ones left it out. That list does not follow industry. It does not follow geography. It follows compensation. And it follows a very specific class of employee whose long-term financial interests certain institutions are paid quite well to protect. Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, the employees at the country's largest technology firms, the ones with the biggest total compensation packages, the ones with the most urgent need for tax shelters, these are the companies whose 401(k) plans were specifically architected to allow after-tax contributions. Benefits consultants are paid to optimize plan design for highly compensated employees. This was not an oversight, and here is the number nobody accounts for. The IRS estimates roughly 1.5 million workers currently hold accounts that could technically support this strategy. Industry surveys place actual utilization below 12% of eligible employees. More than 1 million people have access to a door they were never told existed. Now watch what happens when someone tried to close it. In 2021, the Build Back Better bill included a provision, page 1264, proposing to eliminate the Mega Backdoor Roth entirely, effective immediately. The provision passed the full House of Representatives. It was scored by the Congressional Budget Office at $14 billion in recovered tax revenue over 10 years. Then it went to the Senate Finance Committee. And the provision already passed, already numbered, already assigned a dollar value was stripped from the bill. No floor debate, no recorded vote. The lobbyists who appeared before that committee in the weeks beforehand represented benefits associations, large plan administrators, and the wealth management divisions of major financial institutions. The hearing transcripts are public record. The provision is not in any law. This is not a story about an obscure loophole that accidentally survived the legislative process. It is a story about who has always had access to unlimited tax-free compounding and who has always been told the ceiling is simply the ceiling. The wealth gap in retirement savings is not only a function of income, it is a function of information. A worker earning $40,000 and a worker earning $400,000 can technically access the same tax code. But one of them was told what was inside it. The other was handed a brochure with two options. The institutions that benefit most from keeping that gap invisible are the same institutions that manage the plans, charge fees on the accounts, and sent representatives to that committee hearing. The $14 billion in recovered revenue is still uncollected. The strategy is still running quietly for the people who knew to ask. The Mega Backdoor Roth is legal today. It is available today. And not one major financial institution has published a plain language guide walking their retail customers through how to use it. You have to know to ask. You have to know exactly what to ask for. So the question is not whether this strategy exists. The question is, who decided you weren't supposed to find out?